I'm Tarot Oracle, and we're continuing our quest to do tarot and astrology with the Nine of Wands. Now today we're doing Sagittarius. The sign of Sagittarius is a very go get it, go do it, and be adventurous type sign. So very well known as the sort of the archer type feel, and the Sagittarius goes and gets what it wants and gets what it needs. One of the signs to where they're going to want to do the work themselves or get the work done or be the leader or be involved somehow, be heavily with it. Very big on travel, very big on concentrating on doing things. So one of those things, they're not going to be able to sit in a class and read 10,000 pages on a hobby or whatever. They're going to want to get their hands dirty, get in there and try it out and see, how bad it is or how it goes for them or something like that. So we have that feel here. And moon in Sagittarius means boundless potential, and you have that over here in the 9 of the universal rider weight. So the 9 is over here and boundless potential. So look at the feel of this card. So he looks downtrodden and defeated. It looks like he has a barrier behind him, etc., etc. However, he's emotionally involved with this action. He's emotionally there. He's emotionally going to get it. So it's going to be one of those things to where he may have injuries, obviously, but he's ready to go again. You see, he still has the staff. He's ready for the next phase. He's ready to go. He's looking off in the distance. He's holding his weapon, and he's ready to roll. So one of those things to where you kind of want to know what's next. So he wants to know what's next. He doesn't want to give up. He's not injured and giving up. If he was giving up, he wouldn't be holding that. So again, emotionally involved or emotionally sort of scripted into that action, into that adventure. So you have that kind of a feel here. So a lot of times this is read as, maybe he's injured or he doesn't really want to fight anymore or something like that. But I see it because of the moon, sort of that emotional involvement with the action as he's ready to go again. So he may be injured, obviously, but he's ready to go again, and he's ready to keep on with that adventure, keep on with the fighting, or keep on with whatever he's doing. So that's sort of the feel that I get from the 9 of Wands, and that's just the boundless potential, the people running through, they're going in. It's a positive card, and I feel this is a positive card. You're down, maybe you've been hit a couple of hurdles within the challenges that you're going for. However, it's one of those things to where you can get back up and go again, and you are ready to go again. It's sort of an important point that I like to see within this card. So that is Sagittarius and the moon within Sagittarius. And the next card we have is the 8 of Wands, or fleeting force. So again, this is the movement card, right? The 8 of Wands, so it's the movement card. Pretty much everybody reads it as movement. The wands are flying through the air, and it's a movement type card. So the 8 of Wands is going to be Mercury, which is a communication. Mercury is communication. And the communication planet is looking into or roaming into Sagittarius. What does that mean? Does that mean communication about adventure, communication about travel, right? You remember Sagittarius is big on travel. It's big on going to get it. It's big on getting it through and doing the action themselves. So one of the pieces of that is going to be travel. And you see that within the 8 of Wands with the travel theme. So how can we use this? Well, think about it as, again, a communication planet, Mercury, communication planet within the travel. Not only are you traveling, but you're traveling maybe to communicate with someone, or you're traveling for communication or communicating purposes, right? So it's one of those things where you're not just randomly traveling. Maybe you're meeting someone. Maybe you have something to work out, or some lawsuit or some business deal or something to work out on the other end of that involves communication. So we have the communication within Sagittarius. So the movement is not random movement. The movement is purposeful movement. The movement is to get some sort of a communication. And this particular thing could be looking maybe at he's communicating a bit of power over this person or something like that. But there's definitely an interaction or communication going on. So instead of just the movement card, what can we take out of adding astrology into this? We could, again, use the Mercury piece here, the Mercury planet, and say that it is communication about travel, or is it communication about an adventure? So maybe we have a reading to where someone is asking about long distance relationship. This could be it, right? We have travel, and then we have communication. So it could be a long distance communication, or it could be you're traveling to meet someone or traveling to know someone. Or you could, in the future, find someone or communicate with someone that's far away. So again, fleeting force. We have the travel. So this is sort of an escape from an overpowered enemy type thing here. But you could have that feel, or you could have, again, a communication that's more positive and that involves travel, or communication that's more positive that involves adventure. Either way, it's not just movement. So a lot of people just throw this down and say, yeah, it's movement, and it's sort of out of context. But since it is Mercury within that, think about what communication possibilities are in your reading. What communication is this movement about, or what communication is this travel about, or what communication is this adventure about, because it is Sagittarius. So that is the Eight of Wands. And the next card is the Ten of Wands. Now again, the Ten of Wands is sort of a bad card because it's not, well, Sagittarius, because we have Saturn roaming into Sagittarius. Now you remember that Venus, the positive sign, the positive cards, Venus combines, or Venus joins, that planet joins together, but Saturn separates. So we have a separation. So we have this oppression. So we have this separation from adventure, separation from travel, separation from doing it all ourselves, and we could be in sort of a helpless situation at that point, right? So this card is predominantly read as a burden, and we could have that burden. We could have a helpless situation to where Saturn is in Sagittarius and we're being oppressed, like you see in the picture here. We have something bigger than ourselves leaning on us and giving us that oppression, or giving us that depression that we have. So that feeling of helplessness, which you have in both cards, right? Because the Saturn has removed possibly, or separated your ambition, maybe separated your desire for that travel, for that adventure, separated your desire for doing things that are adventurous. And since that is an integral part of Sagittarius, now we have this a bit of a burden, or now we have a bit of an oppression that's sort of holding us back from doing what we love. So here he is burdened, but he has a city down there. So maybe he's trying to get to that city and he can't get there because he's overburdened, or he's too burdened to get there. So it's stifling his travel. It's stifling his adventure. Maybe he has an adventure waiting on the other side, but it's stifling him because of the overburden or the too much. So again, Saturn has separated us from all that we are, or all that we are within Sagittarius, and now we're sort of helpless. And again, this is oppression, so it's just sort of holding us back the amount of burden that he has. It's holding us back via being overpowered. So we're clearly overpowered here, and we're being held back. And here we're clearly overpowered or overburdened, and we're being held back as well. So a very interesting duplicity here that we have from the Ten of Wands. So that is Saturn within Sagittarius, or a little more meaning, he's not just overburdened, he's overburdened from doing what he wants, he's overburdened from getting here, he's overburdened from all the things that he loves. So he's being separated from those aspects within himself. So that is the Ten of Wands. And next, of course, is the Knight, or Prince of Wands. So, you know, Sagittarius, they're, again, I say this every video, but most Different sources will have different meanings for the court cards. Some court cards say this is not Sagittarius, some do. So again, we're going to sort of roll with this particular deck and get there through there. So we're looking at the Knight of Wands as a philosopher, a rebel, and a player. So here's sort of just launching off here. Just sort of a launching off with a wand. And again, you have the same type of feel here, launching off with a wand. So we look at the Sagittarius feel within this card. He's definitely going somewhere. Again, that's the travel, that's the adventure, that's the do-it-yourself type feel. He's definitely going somewhere. And you can see this rapid movement, which is different than many of the other knight cards that you have within this deck. So, I mean, some of the knights are just like standing there. Some of the knights are just facing you, etc., etc. But we definitely, like this knight here, is definitely not going anywhere. But we have this Sagittarius feel with this particular knight, because the Sagittarius is, there's another one that's not going anywhere, so this one is going somewhere. And that makes sense, right? So these are not Sagittarius, but this is, and this makes the most sense, because if we look at that Sagittarius feel to where he's doing that, he's doing the crossbow or cross shot or the bow, right, of the Sagittarius. He's doing these actions. And he's getting ready to go, and he's going. He's not hesitating. He's not pausing. This is a knight that's action-packed. He has the stirrups and all this other good stuff. So he's going full force. He's not holding back anything. You can tell the horse is just raring to go. And we have a lot of red within this card, too, which sort of indicates that feel of action and that feel of adventure. So it makes the most sense to look at this particular card in the Sagittarius type of sense. And again, he's dressed up for the part as well, right? He's dressed up for the part. We have the Sagittarius dressed up for the part. He's going for the adventure. He's going for the travel and everything. So this makes sense. This makes the most sense as far as lining up a court card with a sign. And the sign of Sagittarius makes the most sense for him. So anyway, that is the Knight of Wands. So I want to thank all of my Patreon supporters. By the way, Patreon is a way to support me and all the stuff that I do and all the classes that I teach, etc., etc. And if you want to give a couple of bucks, I'd greatly appreciate it. Link in the description. My current Patreon supporters are Alley Cat, Annie Lamaster, Carolyn Bouchard, Crystal McGinn, Gary Fink, Hot Chocolate, Janet Littler, Jessica Mente, Kim Wilson, KSW, La Ami, Richard Zeh, Scott Miller, Shintaro Kuga, Sinai Zamora, and Trina Iadaverio. Thank you so much for being a supporter, and I greatly appreciate all of your support. As always, please hit like and subscribe. And finally, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next episode. We will do another sign. We have quite a few signs to go, so we got a lot of good stuff coming. I'm all excited. See you next time.